If you're trying to land your dream job by graduation, and I hope that you are, you need to become very good at in person networking events because it's not what you know, but who you know that gets you the job. And if talking about in person networking makes you feel anxious, you are in some very good company. 40% of people feel the exact same way. But today, I am going to help you out by giving you the 3 in person networking strategies that have helped my students land their dream jobs by graduation. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Jerica, and I love helping first and second generation college students succeed in college. So grab your coffee or your tea, and I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. To succeed at in-person networking events, you need to do 3 things. You need to plan, you need to connect, and you need to grow. Let's start with developing your in-person networking plan. I recommend the simple strategy of time boxing every in-person networking event before you attend. Time boxing is a great way to get the most out of the event so you never leave empty-handed. Here's a time boxing example from one of my students. What's important when you're time boxing is you have to tell yourself like how long you plan to spend at each thing. So here they plan to spend an hour at the event, and then within that hour, they're gonna spend some time mixing and mingling with 2 people that they don't know, and then talking to 2 employers. And you notice here that they've actually listed the employers that they want to talk to. And then they have a scheduled break. I encourage after every single in-person networking event, you set yourself up with some type of reward. Give yourself something to look forward to. This could be like a party. This could be your favorite food. For me, I love Living Loaves, right, at Starbucks. But if you're into kale salads, you can do you, right? Whatever it is, the point of this activity is to get you into the habit of going prepared. The next part of developing your networking plan is to research the people or industry and come up with great questions. You can see the student wrote out questions by the different employers they plan to speak to. You can get some great employer and industry specific questions by going on LinkedIn. While you're there, you can check out the organization's post or the recruiter's post and come up with questions that way. You can ask ChatGPT to give you some questions, or you can just go down to your career service center, set up an appointment, and talk to them there about your upcoming networking event. They should have some great ideas for you. The final part of developing your in-person networking plan I think is the most important, and that's establishing the type of support system you need for the event. I encourage all of my college students to not do in-person networking alone because 2 is honestly better than 1. And this doesn't mean you have to bring someone with you to the event each time because that would be honestly very weird. But it does mean that you should have someone identified that will send you encouraging texts throughout the event, maybe every 30 minutes. And then if it's really that intense, they are willing to jump on a call with you midway through to give you that pep talk that you need. Because networking in person is really tough and you need that support. So we have an in-person networking plan, right, to help us land this dream job. Now we need to talk about what happens when you're actually at the in-person networking event. Your goal here is to develop meaningful connections with 2 groups, employers and event participants. For developing meaningful employer connections, I coach students to be genuine and to ask very good questions, which we already talked about before, right? And then to master their elevator speech and practice it often. The elevator speech is a 30-second concise and engaging summary of who you are and what you're looking for. And if you want to sound as natural and confident as possible, which I think you do, right? Record your elevator speech on your phone. You can listen to it throughout the day. There's just something about that strategy that works. And then afterwards, say it to a friend 10 times so that you are comfortable when you arrive at the event. For developing meaningful participant connections, that's the people that you meet when you're mixing and mingling. I coach students to be genuine again, right, in your conversation and to get comfortable asking this: is there someone you think I should meet? Woo! Let me tell you the amount of opportunities that I have received because I simply asked that question. So I encourage you guys to do that. What I find though that stumps a lot of my students is how to get in and out of the small group networking interactions because you don't want to get stuck talking to a group for very long or to someone for very long. So how do you get in and out? Think of it like a dance, right? You're dancing with a person and then you're dancing with someone else. That's how you want to flow and move through the networking event. So instead of just saying like, get good at it, I'm going to give you some actual phrases you can use And I encourage you to memorize some of them so you have them on hand, and then you can kind of like riff off of it to make it your own. So here's the one I have for entering a group. You can say things like, "Excuse me, may I join your conversation?" Or "I've been enjoying listening to your discussion. Would you mind if I joined?" To exit a group, like when you're done, you need to go. You can say things like, "I'd love to continue this conversation later. Can I connect with you on LinkedIn?" You can say those types of things to come in and out of the conversation so you're making some meaningful connections with the participants that are at the event. The last part of being successful at in-person networking events is what you do after the event. I'm gonna slow this down. How you are able to grow after the event is what is going to separate you from your peers and give you that comparative advantage. Growing is simply giving yourself space to reflect on the connections you made during the event and doing the next steps to connect with those that you met. This looks like sending a follow-up email within 2 to 3 business days. And I'm going to throw some data on the screen here. People are not sending follow-up emails, and that drastically reduces your ability to land a dream job. And then if you feel like, hey, I sent one and no one responded, here's another article that says, send it again. When you send it again, it has a higher probability of it actually being open. You also need to reflect on how you did personally, right? Ask yourself things like, what did you accomplish during the event? How did you feel when asking the questions that we talked about earlier? I've given you so many different questions, time boxing and talking to the employers and looking up on ChatGPT, right? And what things would you want to do differently next time? John Maxwell says it perfectly. Growth is not automatic. People must choose to grow on purpose. And that is exactly what we did during this entire video. We are choosing to grow and to be successful at in-person networking events on purpose so that you can land that dream job by graduation. We will have so many more videos on networking for sure, because as you can see, it can get very in the weeds, but this is just the start. And you guys, I care and I want you to succeed. I want you to land that amazing job by graduation. It is possible. As always, the world needs who you were made to be. I'll see you guys on the next video.